Hi guys, this is Lisa from Local King Rubber Stamp. Welcome to my channel. Ready for today's video? Today's video, I'm going to share with you guys how did I create this beautiful metallic background by using mica powder. Okay, so before we start today's video, we're going to talking about the Black Friday sales. We are going to have a 40% off the whole online store, and there is the extra magic mushroom with a holder, and the free shipping. So make sure you subscribe to Local King's YouTube channel or newsletter, because I will send an email out with all the detailed information. So, and then for my YouTube viewer, make sure you watch this video carefully. There is a 3% coupon code will pop out in the middle of this video. So you will get a 40% plus 3%. Wow, that's 43% off discount. The best promotion ever. So that's the first thing about our Black Friday sales is coming. It's going to be only 1 day sale. It's going to be November 25, only 1 day. And then Local King's 6 stamping cruise leaving from Tampa in 2023 February. We only have a 10 more spot available. So the altogether is 32 crafters on board. We only have a 10 more spot available. If you want to join us on board, make sure you check the link below. So that's start today's video. Today's video, actually, I'm going to share with you some awesome technique to do the background. If you have been following my video, you probably already know I don't really use pattern paper. I usually either create my own background or I will use the background stamp. So the reason I don't use the pattern paper, because sometimes some of my paper, probably you too, the pattern paper you bought probably 10 years ago. So if I use that pattern paper and you don't have a source of get that pattern paper, so that's kind of very painful. So usually I will create my own pattern paper, and then today's video is all about this shimming background, and it's so easy. So that's started. Okay, so I have my watercolor paper here. This is a Canson watercolor paper, 130 pounds cardstock. And then I have my watercolor paper here. Not water paper, sorry, watercolor paint. First, this is the one I bought a while ago, and you can see very pretty color and have never used before. I think that can create something new. I mean, something metallic background color. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. We're not going to use it. And then I have at least a box of watercolor. No kidding. This set of watercolor is 30 years old. I have these since I was a high school student. I got these. It was a gift from my aunt. She went to England, and when she come back, she bought me a set of watercolor. And then I'm so treasure is I never use it. And then after 30 years, if you touch it, they are still soft. So that means they are still in the pretty good condition. And then so we are going to use watercolor paper. So these watercolor paper, there's two kinds of watercolor. One is transparency, one is not. Transparency is kind of like after you paint it, you kind of seeing through. And then there's the other one is non-transparency, is this one. This one is a Chinese ink paint. So I got this one from Gary and Blaine, one of the craft show, and you can see I didn't really use it. And this one is for Chinese ink brush painting. I adore the Chinese ink brush painting. When I was in the high school, we was kind of choosing a major, and then I ended up to be a graphic design department, but there is like an art department. And then, but you know, if you pay attention, all those kind of Chinese paint artists, they are so skinny, and with a very long hair, they walk like they are flying. With my character, I don't think so. It fit me. I'm kind of like a heavy stuff. So, but I always want to do a Chinese ink brush painting. But I just never get into it. So Chinese ink brush painting is always the paint on the like rice paper. So something you need, you can take a look at this picture on the right side. That's something called the Chinese painting. And this paint I bought a while ago, probably 5 years ago. I'm exactly like you, like to buy the stuff and then put in the drawer, and then sometimes you forget about it, you have that. So this is a little bit different with watercolor because they are kind of not seeing through. And because if you want the painting on the rice paper, they cannot be seen through. If they are seen through on the rice paper, you actually they don't look nice. So for the Chinese ink brush painting, the paint they use is kind of like watercolor paint, but they are not seen through. That's the knowledge I know. Okay, so I am going to just use regular watercolor paint, and then we are going to give a try with the Parallax. So this is the Parallax. I'm sure most of you guys have, and I've been using these Parallax for all different kinds of stuff. And then I got this one from the Amazon. I'm not promote this one. It's the mica powder, and I was wondering. Remember, I did the one video, the Halloween one. Here's the picture. On that haunted house. I just rubbed this one on the clear embossing powder, so to change the color. So and then I was wondering, can I paint with the mica powder? And I give a try, and I found out actually it works okay, but I do have some issue, and I'm going to share with you guys what was the problem when I create my my project. So if you're looking for some mica powder or like a Parallax, I'm sure you can find from the craft store. They do have it, and a lot of company they do have it. So I remember I paid something like $35. I have too many. They also come with this little spoon. Okay, so that's something else. Just keep in your mind, if you don't have a mica powder, that will do. But I'm going to probably just use this, but I'm going to maybe add a little bit purple. Why not? I'm going to add a little bit silver. Oh, I have a silver here. And let's make a little bit light green. Nah, that's keep it simple. That's just use the 3 color plus the little bit silver color. The simple is the better. Okay, so we have the watercolor, or you can use this kind of paint. I can't believe it. Now you can find all the media. The price is very reasonable. Sometimes you just found out they are so cheap. I remember when I was a student, own a box of these watercolor is like a dream. So that's why I think I never used it, and I'm glad that it didn't dry out. It's still in very good condition. Okay, so that's the watercolor we are going to use, and then we're going to talk about brush. And here is my brush. No kidding. Those 2 brushes, they are 30 years old. I had them when I was in the high school, and then they are still in the good shape. I remember 30 years ago, I paid like $40 for this brush, and I think $25 for the small one. So a good brush will last forever, but you got to taking care of your tool, like our magic mushroom. You got to have to clean them well and then keep them in the best condition. And this one, I bought it when I come to Canada 25 years ago from Opus. They are still open, and that's like a 25 years too. But now, if you go to the internet, I think I bought it like a 10 of these for $20. And then actually, be honest with you, their material is not bad either. Okay, so that's about the brush, and then brushes, and always remember taking care of your tool. Okay, I'm maybe a messy person, but I always take care of my tool and my dog. Okay, so we are going to, I put a little bit light blue here. We need a foundation color. Let's do a little bit more light blue. Okay, so today is November 6th, and then I hope you guys enjoy all the Eagle cards I created for the past few weeks. And then I still have a 3-4 more coming, and but this one I'm kind of I kind of want to this card I just created today. So I think that will be the last card I create, and then I'm heading to my trip. So I have a light blue and I'm going to have a dark blue. I'm so excited for my trip. It's supposed to happen before pandemic 2019, and then it's all stuck. We are all stuck here. So and I don't speak Japanese, even though I learn a little bit, and my English is not very good either. And my Chinese, Mandarin, I kind of forget half of my Mandarin. So it's going to be very interesting when I travel to Japan. And I am going to try to record a few of the video. And if I see something interesting, I'm going to record it. If you're interested in my trip in Japan, leave me a comment and I create a video I will share with you guys, because I know you guys are crafter. Maybe you're not interested in the other stuff, right? So it should be fun, when I travel to US a lot and Canada a lot, and I never feel like I'm scared or panic. But this Japan trip is I'm exciting, but also I am kind of scared in case I get lost, because I'm actually going to travel for 15 days, but the 2 days, the first day and last day is a flight. It's 10 hours from Canada, Vancouver to Japan, Tokyo. So the first 2 days doesn't count. So 13 days, I'm actually stay at the 9 different hotels. So basically every 2-3 days, I have to, 1 or 2-3 days, I am kind of moving. So, well, this is something I always want to do, and luckily my husband is a support, because we went to Japan one time and he hates everything. He doesn't like the seafood, and then everything is small for him. He's a tall guy. So, and then I told him I really want to do this trip, and then I have his fully support, so I am very excited. Okay, so that's started. We are going to do the watercolor. Watercolor. You're supposed to use the water to do a watercolor. So I'm going to just dip in some water. And then my first prototype, I did the 5x7. I kind of find out my background is a little bit empty. But I did try few more. I did try to snip a few of the snowflake, and then it turned out to be busy. So I'm going to actually change this card to the A2 size card. So, and then it's a great idea. So if you want to have like a 4 card, you can just do it at one time. And sometimes if you don't use it, you can use it for later different project. So I kind of just use my bigger brush, brush a little bit water. Okay. Just like this. It's very, very simple, easy, nothing complicated. Everybody can do it. And then the result is going to be surprised, because you don't really know what's going to happen. Okay, and then I'm going to use a little bit light blue. Okay, light blue, just a little bit. And then kind of just a freehand drawing here and there. Okay, like this. And then I'm going to just pick up a little bit darker blue. Okay, and just change the spot a little bit, like this. Okay, and then kind of just kind of turning, kind of let your blue to run to each other. So you're going to create the 4 different kind of background, and they all looks different. See, that's very windy. Well, it's actually snowing this morning in Vancouver. I hope my flight is not going to cancel. Okay, so that's do a little bit blue, and you can even kind of, tapping a little bit. Like this. Okay, and then I'm going to just move a little bit again. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And now we are going to put the mica powder on top So I'm going to grab my mica powder. Okay, so I'm going to just grab, that's a start with a blue, a little bit blue. You don't need a lot, okay? Just a little bit. Kind of just sprinkle. And then I was wondering, what's different between mica powder with those color bursts? Those kind of color bursts? Well, I hope, what's his name? Ken? I hope he's not going to be mad at me. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I think so far is what I just wondering, are they different? Because mica powder is kind of like a pigment, right? So you can mix with other stuff. Okay, so that's like this, and then I'm gonna put a little bit green. So I did this by purpose because I don't want to like cover the whole page. I'm going to just cut in 4 pieces and use each corner for my background. I think that's kind of something unique. And I'm going to pick up, I really want to sneak. I really want to sneak. And then just do a little bit, okay, thing. Just here and there. I think the color bursts, when you put, they really like a spread. Okay, a little bit different. They don't spread that much. So I'm going to just, or you can have your misty bottle ready. If too much, you can kind of just wash them off. Okay, I'm going to do some purple. My favorite color. Who doesn't like a purple? Ooh, that looks nice. The question is, after they dry, are they going to hold? We will find out by the end of this video. You know, it's like those kind of metallic paste. Sometimes you can use eyeshadow to do that. Okay, so let's do that. If you want to dry a little bit, you can do that. I think that's so pretty, isn't it? And then I think this will be the awesome background if we want to do something like under the sea stuff. And then if it doesn't sit, the color doesn't sit, we will try to figure it out how we can make that color set. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit white, pearl white. Okay. That's very nice. Okay, so that's my background, and then I am going to just dry it with my heat gun. Before I do that, I'm going to make sure I clean my brush, my 30 years old brush, and hoping it will survive another 30 years. Okay, so I'm going to dry it. I will be right back. Okay, so I kind of use my heat gun to dry these my basic car, right? And then the question is, will those mica powder stay? I actually try to here I have a lot of powder, right? So I kind of use my finger, kind of rub a little bit. The powder doesn't really stay, but you can kind of remove those extra powder. It kind of become like a bubble. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just use my brush, gently brush those extra powder from my cardstock. Or what you can do is, I mentioned that in my video before, we can use the hairspray to spray it, to seal it. Or you can you can use those for the sketching, those kind of sealer to do it. Smell good. So after I spray it, they kind of stay a little bit better. Well, this one is not dry. Like these silver color definitely stay. Let's wait a little bit. I'm going to try. The silver is actually stay, but the purple and the green, let's try this one. They don't really stay, but that's okay. You can just use the brush to brush the extra powder off. That's what it looks like. I think it's really pretty. What do you think? So you can give it a try, even like this one after I remove the powder. Those are white bubble. It kind of looks not bad. Okay. Once when you wipe off and they stay there, they don't really come off anymore. But it just if you have too much powder, so you kind of brush off. But the silver one here, actually they stay pretty well. Or what you can do is you just put on the side and then spray a few times. So that's my background, and I think it also looks pretty if you do like a sea turtle under sea. So maybe I'm going to keep in one or two for different projects. So now we're going to trim it. Okay, so I did a 5x7 and I found that my background is a little bit too plain unless you want to stamp in like a bigger sentiment or some background texture, but I'm gonna try by the A2 size. Okay, like this. So A2 size is going to be 4.25 by 5.50, right? So that's just start 550 first. Let's do this. And the 4.25. Okay, and then the other one, 4.25. Okay, so that's just my corner, and I think they all looks different depending on how you are going to play. And then I found out this one, the white one, is a little bit too much, so I'm going to just trimming. So it's going to be 4.4 by 5.25. So that's one. The other one, 4. Oh, so here I accidentally didn't trimming well, so I'm going to just lose that part. Wait until your card is completely dry. I like to have a little bit white space instead of a color the whole sheet. I remember when I was a kid and then I took some art lessons, and then the teacher always say, feed it out, oh, your card, don't leave any white. So we always do that, but when I grew up, I found out you leave some of the white spot actually looks pretty, isn't it? So I have my 4 sheets already, and then that's one. You can decide which direction you want. So you make 4 very easily. And then we are going to color my cornel. So you can use a watercolor, you can use alcohol marker, you can do whatever you like. So since I have my watercolor out, I am going to just use the watercolor. Okay, here is something else I'd like to ask you guys. If you have been using Local King's product, you find out our die cut is right next to the stamp image. Do you like that? Or do you like the die cut have that big white gap? Leave me a comment below, let me know. So now we are going to do the coloring, and I show you how I color. Okay, so I am going to, this time I'm going to use a little bit smaller brush. And the cornel, we are going to have a little bit yellow, a little bit orange. Oh, first I'm going to make sure my working station is clean. Oh, I didn't clean my brush well because when I dipping in the clean water, they actually still show a little bit paint. Bad. Okay, make sure clean my brush. So I'm going to have a little bit yellow, just a little bit orange. Ah, too much. my treasure. A little bit red. A little bit, we don't need yellow. I am going to, I think that's good enough. Just a tree color. Something very simple. Oh, a little bit brown for the branch. A little bit green maybe. Green. Kind of. Ooh. After 30 years, this particular tube is a little bit dry. But the watercolor, right? So if you add some water, I think I can still save it. Good. Make sure close the lid well. So for my trip, I'm actually excited if I can find some local rubber stamp store. That will be fun, huh? When I start my business, I used to have a client, a customer, they used to buy or product and they sell in Japan. But they are kind of like a private teacher. They don't really have a store. I just wondering, do they have a rubber stamp store or not? Okay, so you probably haven't seen I do any watercolor painting. Have you? So we're going to just color them, and then because we have or die cut, right? So don't have to worry if we get any color of the outline. We are going to just die cut it. So that's and then this is just a verser fine outline. Okay, so I'm going to. Wow, I haven't used watercolor for a long time. I'm kind of a little bit rusty. So I'm going to just color. Yes. And like this. And then add a little bit red. Mix well. And then remember watercolor, you got to use water. Okay, let's do this. More red. A little bit more water. Like this. Just color it because the design itself is already have a lot of detail. You don't really have to worry. You just give a very thin layer color. It's going to look amazing. You know, a lot of stamp that they only have like a single outline. So those single outline, it really takes a skill to build out your object. Okay, so here. Okay, that's very nice. I'm actually going to, I need a little bit purple. Purple. Do I have a purple? Purple. Ah, this one is a little bit dry too. Oh, still have a little bit juice. You know, the watercolor is the most like a difficult, well, I think, most of a difficult media, because if you do it wrong, you cannot really fix it. I remember when I was a student, I painting something. If it fail is very common. If you the first time you paint and then your artwork turned out very nice, I remember my teacher said, "Don't be happy. That was that's an accident, because watercolor mean to be fail. If you get it right in the first time, that's accident." Isn't that funny? So I use a little bit purple color. Okay, kind of under his belly part. Okay, and then clean your brush. Now I'm going to use more red. So far I stay inside the line. If you accidentally go over the line, don't worry, we're going to cut it out. 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 Okay, let's do a little bit darker color. Look, this is a fine brush. This brush I bought it from Amazon. 12 of them for under $20. And then one brush, when I was in high school, one brush is $50. I don't know, should I be happy or should I be sad? Okay, and then I'm going to use a little bit blue here. Okay, so here, instead of we use black, I'm kind of just use a little bit blue, keep it a little bit highlighted. What color is the cornel's feet? I'm going to just use a brown. Use what I have. Okay, and then this brush is cheap, but is inexpensive. I think cornel's feet is black, right? That's it. Okay, here, that's good. Okay, and if on his top of, I think that's very good already. And then I'm going to do some green for the branch. I don't want to use a brown. I actually want to use kind of green and brown. That will be olive color because my bird is already kind of reddish, right? And if I use like a brown for my branch, the color is too close to each other. That's something like that. They kind of like a blending together. I can't really tell where is the branch, where is my bird. So I kind of want to fix it, use a green instead of a brown to make my branches is more pop out. Okay, don't know how long I will still have my steady hand because when I do my drawing, you really need a steady hand. I don't know, maybe one day when I start shaking, I won't be able to do all the nice drawing anymore. Okay, and then I'm going to do a little bit shading under my beak. Just a little bit, very, very light shadowing. I think that's nice. And then actually on the top of his head, I want to have a more red, like a red. So I did a little bit red. That's actually orange. This is the red. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to just make the topper a little bit more red. And then clean your brush a little bit, kind of blending like this. I think that's really pretty. Here I'm going to put a little bit red too. And then clean your brush, kind of blending, connect the two colors. Okay, now my cornel have a neck. Okay, and then clean your brush. And then we are going to give a very, very, very tiny eyeshadow under here. Ta-da! I think that's a very pretty cornel. What do you think? Okay, and then clean your brush. Put somewhere safe. And then we are going to die cut it. Okay, so we are going to do the die cut, and then we got to be very, very careful because we spend the time to color this beautiful cornel, right? And then if we die cut it, we didn't cut the right place, that's going to be so painful. And then Local King's die cut is so detailed. It is right next to the image. There is no that white gap. So it's very important that you create this guiding window and then use this guiding window and help you to place your die cut at the right spot. So it's very important, make you sure you do that. So we're going to die cut it. I will be right back. Okay, so that's my die cut right next to the stamp image. Ta-da! So with a very small amount white gap, if that bothers you, what you're gonna do is you just use a plier, kind of just soften a little bit. It's good to have that little white gap, but I think 0.05 millimeter is good. Bigger than that one is kind of annoying, so I think that's really nice, isn't it? Okay, so make sure you create a guiding window and then you do that. So now my foundation card, my green cardstock, and I'm going to choose one of these. And we're going to put a card here. I think that's really nice, right? Okay, but before we do that, this card is kind of boring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of make my edge of the card. Like this. I watched one YouTube. I don't know, are you guys into the alcohol marker or not? So I watched one YouTuber and then she purchased all 375 Copic markers in Japan. I think each marker is $2. Is that good price? If a Copic marker is only $2, would you purchase? I have some Copic markers. I like it. If you have the budget, I think Copic marker quality is much better than the Ohuhu marker. It does the job, but when it's like when you play the piano, you know, sometimes those kind of name brand piano, the touching is much better than those inexpensive piano. So professional piano, it does make a difference. But other hand, professional piano with like a normal person to play, even that professional piano, the music come off on that piano is still different with the professional play the professional piano. Man, do you know what I'm trying to say? Okay, I know my viewer is pretty smart. You guys are smart, know what I'm trying to say. Okay, so that's my car nail, and then I found out my background is still a little bit empty. I'm going to actually put some snow on in the back. Okay, let's do some snow. So I am going to mount my car nail first. Okay, I'm going to put the foam tape, and I'm going to grab the white. Okay, I'm going to put the heat. My car nail still in that corner. Okay, so this one, it depends on you if you want to use it or not. I think it's okay to be there, or we just don't use it. Okay, but I still find out my card is a little bit too plain. So I am going to actually add a little bit snow. So I'm going to have some white. Okay, and then I'm going to have my water in the brush. My brush is kind of blue. I didn't clean my brush well, but okay. And I bring my bird, but actually it's okay. It's snow on top of the bird too. So I'm going to just tapping a little bit, make it look like a snowing. Oh, I like it. That's good enough. Okay, and then clean my brush. I really have to clean the brush well. Watercolor is not that bad, because if watercolor you didn't clean your brush right away, it's not to damage your brush because they are water based, right? But if you use like a acrylic or oil paint, if you didn't clean it right away, goodbye to your brush. I think that this is what I get, what I want. I mean, I want to create a kind of like a snowing looking, right? And then the last things is the eye. It's very important. Any animal, bird, the eye give the life. So I did one video. I will share with you guys how to create a 3D eyeball, right? So I did that, and then my cornea is looking so weird. I show you how. Okay, remember the video I was share with you guys that you can create a 3D eyeball by using those new wood 3D drop. So I was doing the eyeball for my cornea, so I use white, and then I use blue, and I put a little bit black on top, and then my bird look like have too much coffee. It just doesn't go. And then I found out I shouldn't use the white as the white base. I just have to do the black, and I give it a little bit white dot on top, the reflection, and then that bird's eyes look much normal. So that's the eye. So what you're going to do is we're going to just use the black. Okay. Okay. Only color the black part. Okay. You can still have that white ring around the black. Let me bring it. Okay, that's the black. And then you just use your poking tool. Pick up a little bit white. And then give one dot. That looks much better than the hyper eyeball, right? Ooh, there you go. So I think that looks much natural like this. I like it better. Okay, and then we're going to do something else. I'm going to put my eyeball away. We are going to add a little bit snow on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I just use my white 3D glue. Kind of just put on top a little bit here. Okay. And then we're going to use, for you, probably better wait until your white is completely dry before you do that. Oh, you know what? That's too a little. Maybe I just added some extra texture. Who doesn't like a glitter? Doesn't that look like a snow? I think that turned out something. I really like it. Kind of winter thing. And then you can find a nice sentiment to put on top. Okay, so that's today's project, and then I hope you like it. So in the end of this video, I kind of find out my corner bird is still a bit too empty. I want to add a little bit bling bling on top. So I have a this Angelina fabric, and then I just pick a little bit and kind of just shovel under. My bird. Don't really need to glue anything. Just give a little final touch. So that's today's project. Do you like the 5x7 or you like the A2 size? The 5x7 just found out here is a little bit empty, so we can just maybe give a try to stamping few snowflake on top. What do you think? Should I put a snowflake? Why not? That's just do some snowflake. But the same idea is that you can just try to use a watercolor mixed with some mica powder to create all kind of different. So this is the snowflake is with a version mark with some different color, and this is a black. I think the black one it might work. That's just it doesn't work so well. That's okay. Let's try see if my black will do the job. Not too many, maybe just 2. There you go. Do you think it'll work or no? 2 more. There you go. I think the snowflake kind of blending. Which one you like the better? Oh, and one more thing is I am going to use my gel pen. I can just give a little bit touch out the feather. If you want to do a little bit highlighted on the feather, you can do that with this white gel pen. Like this one probably you can see better. Just add a little bit feather, give a little bit highlighted. Okay, so that's everything for today, and I think that's it. I am actually going to get ready and heading to my trip. I am going to see you after I come back. So I will be back November 25th, and I think I have set up all the Black Friday promotion already, or hoping everything runs smoothly. So it's going to be 1 day's promotion. November 25 is 40% off. And then there is the 3% off coupon code is on my table, something in red. So if you use that password, you will get another 3% off. So it's a 40 plus 3% off. Good luck, and I'm really curious how many of you will find that 3% coupon code on the table. So that's everything for today. Thank you so much for watching, and leave me a comment below if you want to see some of my video clip in Japan. Let me know, and I will try to record something interesting during my trip. So this is Lisa from Local King Rubber Stamp. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.